Okay, when should we use SOHCAHTOA ideas, and when should we use a squared plus b squared equals c squared ideas? This is trigonometry, and it has to do with angles. This is the Pythagorean theorem, and it only uses sides. Take a look at this example first, where we use SOHCAHTOA. Do we see in this example, it's giving us an angle, and it gives us a side, and we want to find the other side? So here I have an opposite, and here I have a hypotenuse. Let's try to solve this one very quickly. So the opposite and the hypotenuse, I know that gives me a sine. So the sine of 35 is equal to x over 10. I'll multiply both sides by 10. These 10s cancel out, and I end up with 10 times the sine of 35 is equal to x. Right there I have 10 times the sine of 35 is equal to x. So x equals 10 times the sine of 35. This can be typed in your calculator to get the answer to the nearest tenth. Now let's look at when we use the Pythagorean theorem. In this case, it doesn't give us any of the angles. And when you don't know the angles, but you have a right triangle, you should be thinking about the Pythagorean theorem. Let's use the Pythagorean theorem now. You always have to make sure the hypotenuse is your c. So I'm going to have here x. I'm going to have here x squared plus 5 squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared. This gives me x squared plus 25 is equal to 100. I'm going to try to solve this for x now. Subtract both sides by 25. We have x squared is equal to 75. Now we take the square root of both sides. The square root of x squared is x equals the square root of 75. This can be simplified a bit. This breaks into a 3 and a 25. This 25 breaks into a 5 and a 5. Do you remember this? The 75 breaks into a 3 and a 25. The 25 breaks into a 5 and a 5. And we end up with x is equal to the square root of 3 times 5 times 5. There's a pair of 5, so we pull that out. X is equal to 5 radical 3. That's the answer in simplest radical form. You could type this into the calculator to get the answer to the nearest tenth.